Hello, people of YouTube. It's Commander Vexer again, and today's video is going to be the first episode of a series that I'm going to call Character Analysis. Um, Basically, what this is going to be is, you know, characters that I come up with that are going to be reoccurring in my mocks or dioramas are going to be featured in these videos. So, for instance, I have created two fire teams. We have Spartan Force 99 and Fire Team Hades. So, basically, each episode of character analysis for the time being will feature one or more of those characters, and it'll be something about them. I don't know, origins or a mission they're going on. And they're all going to be small. I'm going to use, I'm basically going to be reading the story that I've written using props like, in front of you I have Spartan Asada, because that's what this episode is going to be about. It's going to be about Spartan Asada's origin. So that's why I have him here, and I'm just going to basically be putting figures and mini dioramas in the frame as props for the story, basically just so you're not staring at a blank screen while I read a story. And I'm doing this for a couple reasons. Reason one, I really love storytelling, which is why I got into the diorama thing in the first place. Two, it seems like you guys really like the storytelling, which I appreciate a lot. And it also, storytelling is a great way to bond with the community, which is what the goal of my channel is, because I try to include you guys in the storytelling, so we all tell the story together, and I basically just get to share it, which is fun. And the third reason is that I just don't really have the space for the big dioramas that I want to do. I mean, I got one out for the Mega Gabby contest, which was nice. But then I tried to do that other one with the Marines and Spartan Force 99, and it was okay, but not my greatest. I mean, I wasn't super happy with it. But this way, I can do smaller dioramas, and they can be more detailed because my parts won't be as spread out because I don't have that many parts anyway. And B, I'll be able to focus on the storytelling. So, yeah. I guess without further ado, I'm going to get into the subject of this video, which is a character analysis of Spartan Asada from Fireteam Hades. This story is going to feature, it's going to be mostly about his parents, but it's also going to explain a little bit as to why Asada joined the UNSC. And yeah, that's about all I need to tell you before I, so now let me get into the actual reading of the story. Here's what I have. So, Yuki Asada is featured in front of you, is the son of the famous captain Sora Asada. He was born on his father's modified Phoenix-class support vessel, which I'm using this to represent, the Phoenix-class assault vessel, though the Phoenix-class assault, sorry, I said assault vessel, I meant support vessel. Phoenix-class support vessel, that's the same ship that the Spirit of Fire is, but this is the only model I have, so we're using that. And this is who I'm using Captain Keys to represent Captain Asada. So yes, he was born on his father's modified Phoenix-class support vessel, the UNSC Sozo. Sozo is the Japanese word for creation, which is fitting because creation was the ultimate mission of this ship. So basically, as the Covenant continued to decimate Earth colonies, and I have a little diorama here depicting the Covenant decimating Earth colonies. As the Covenant continued to decimate Earth colonies, the UNSC became burdened with a massive refugee crisis caused by the survivors of those lost colonies. With a war on their hands, the UNSC was desperate for a quick fix to this secondary issue, but with few ships to spare, the refugees were forced to relocate to temporary space stations that acted as refugee camps. Um, it did not take long for the refugees to become unhappy with their new situation. The UNSC began to receive reports of riots in the camps. Some reports stated that some of the refugees had managed to seize control of a handful of the space stations, and as well as a few light supply freighters. Uh, these refugees were denouncing the UNSC. Um, so the UNSC, fearing the creation of a full-blown insurrectionist fleet, once again began looking for a solution. As it happened, a solution would come from a young ship captain, Yuki's father, Sora Asada. Let's get this out of the way. So, Captain Asada proposed that his ship, the Sozo, which had previously been used to oversee the terraforming of several former colony worlds, he proposed that his ship be redeployed to do just that once again. Since its original mission, the Sozo had been repurposed for heavy combat to fight back the Covenant onslaught. Captain Asada pointed this out, saying that command would not have to supply any escort ships since the Sozo was so heavily armed. Capable of carrying over 12,000 passengers in addition to its crew, the Sozo was more than capable of accommodating large numbers of refugees and rapidly resettling them, as well as leaving military support within newly established colonies. UNSC Command was highly impressed by Captain Asada and immediately approved his proposal. So, Asada led dozens of successful refugee relocation missions, and this earned him a reputation across the colonies as some sort of savior. It would also be on one of these missions that Captain Asada's life would be changed forever. As the Sozo sat in dry dock, waiting for the next wave of refugees to come aboard, Asada stood on the observation platform observing the newcomers, as he always did. It seemed to be the usual bunch, until he noticed a young woman holding a small child. The child was crying, and the woman was singing a lullaby in an attempt to calm it down. What caught Captain Asada's attention was that he recognized the lullaby as one he grew up hearing back in Japan. The captain made his way over to the woman, who I'm represented, who this female marine is representing. So the captain made his way over to the woman and joined in her singing. She looked startled at first, but to her surprise, the child began to stop crying. The captain apologized for the intrusion, but said that he could not ignore his curiosity. He asked the young woman her name and how she had come to know that song. She told him her name was Keiko Nakamura, and that she was traveling with her newborn son, Yuki. As it turned out, Keiko's family was originally from the same region in Japan as the Asada family. Captain Asada and Keiko continued to bond over their several-month-long journey until it was time for the refugees to disembark from the Sozo. It was then that Captain Asada asked Keiko and her son to stay with him aboard the Sozo, to which she agreed. The two married shortly after that, and 18 years later, their son, Yuki, would join the UNSC to follow in his father's footsteps. And for this, I just have Yuki as a Marine, Yuki as an ODST, and then eventually, I gotta get these guys out of the way. Too much going on in the camera. Eventually, after being an ODST, Yuki would become a Spartan. So there you have it. This is Yuki Asada's backstory, a little bit more in depth, more about his parents. So to sum it up, Yuki's father was the captain of the UNSC Sozo, which was a colony ship. Before the war, it was terraforming planets for colonization, And then when the war occurred and really picked up, the Sojo was repurposed for combat. Um, and as the colonies were getting decimated by the Covenant, uh, and the refugee crisis, became more of a problem for the UNSC, the Sojo was repurposed to help relocate those refugees, and that's how Captain Sora Asada met Yuki's mother, Keiko, and together they raised Yuki aboard the Sojo until Yuki was old enough to join the Corps, the UNSC Corps, and which he did. Um, so, yeah. So let me know what you guys think of this format. I plan on doing many more of these, um, and I think with that in mind, the videos might be not as frequent because it takes time to write the stories, and I also have other things going on, obviously, life things. So, and I want the stories to be good. I don't want them to feel rushed. So there may be fewer videos, but I think they should be more in depth like this. And also, you guys, especially those of you that have characters in the fire team, like Red Fire, you have your Spartan Uday and Hades, and Halo, you have a couple people on the fire teams, and Kyle Penna, I know you have a guy. So expand. Write down in the comments what you want me to tell about your character. I started with Spartan Asada here because he's one of my personal creations. But I really do want this channel to be a community thing, so even if you're not in the fire teams, just leave comments down below with cool backstories, and of course I'm going to give you credit. But if I like your backstory, I'll tie it to a Spartan, or if you want a backstory for an elite, then I'll elite, or whatever character you want. And yeah, I'm just gonna build this universe. So I guess that's about it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I really do hope you enjoyed. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.